What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another AGX video, but this time it's kind of a special topic here. So I brought this up because of a occurrence that I actually had at one of the LCSs that I usually go to. So right now it's about this book in particular. So this is Venom, The Enemy Within, Part 1. It's a glow-in-the-dark cover. That's kind of the key significance. And this book particular, right, I did not get from that shop. But this book is really clean. I'm going to take it out of the bag and board in a second. But specifically with this one, the reason why I'm making a video on this in the first place, here I'll take it out of the bag and board, is because I was at my local LCS, right? Not my local one, but one that I do frequent a lot. By the way, this book is very clean. There's one minor spine tick in the top corner there, near the top staple. Sorry for my dog in the background there. But this one I bought at a, this particular copy I bought at a, not a convention, but it was like a thing where there was a bunch of like vendors that were selling individual comics and stuff like that. So originally the guy had this price for $20. And I remember thinking, like, that's like a little high for this book, but this is a really nice copy. Like, very nice copy, glow in the dark. I'm a huge Venom fan, and this was even before I had my channel. So, yeah, I knew a little bit about how to check comic prices and stuff like that, but I wasn't actually as well versed as I am now, right? Because the nice part about this hobby is you learn something new every single time you do it. But in particular, this one was very, it stood out to me. I was like, damn, I want this. And I picked this out, and I picked out a what if Wolverine killed the Hulk. I forgot, I think it was a, what is that, what if number 50. But either way, in combination, instead of selling this for 20 bucks, he ended up selling it to me for 15, right? Chatted the guy up. He was like, oh, yeah, this and that. And it was a really cool dude, really cool vendor. And was like, you know what, here, I'll just give it to you for 15. I'm like, sweet, right? Not even, I didn't even ask for it to be reduced until he just kind of brought it up. But in particular, this is one of my favorite characters. So obviously, I'm like, this is really cool to have, especially because I had to restart my collection from when I previously left off 6 years ago. So when I got it, I was like, sweet. I was like, 20 was a little high for the market, but it was like probably what I'd say, like right now, probably 20 bucks, right? They sell like a nice cover, like a high grade like this would probably sell like that. So now fast forward, like, I don't know, 7 months into the future, and I'm at one of the LCSs, or one of the shops that I usually go to, and I love this shop, and I'm not going to name them, I'm not going to try to throw them, like, under the bus, because this really wasn't a reflection of the shop, more or less than, like, maybe one employee or something like that. I don't know, and I really wasn't too, like, offended by it or whatever, but I also, at the same time, was like, damn, that's kind of shisty, if you could say it. So, I see this, they have tons of books, and now, little bit of background on this place. Beforehand, I really, like, go in there a lot, right? I spend a lot of money in there, and they I think they know me by now pretty well. But, they have tons and tons and tons of back issues, like a ridiculous number. But, this is about me going there for about a good, like, 5 months at this point on a weekly basis. And I'm like, yeah, I see this behind the counter, hanging up with a wall of, like, 100 books, right? And I see, and, like, I'm trying to look at it, and I was like, damn, yeah, I have that book. I'm actually kind of curious. So there's two reasons why I was curious. One, just to see, like, what they're listing it for and if it's a better condition than mine, which I think is normal being a collector. And two, I also wanted to see if it was, attainable. Like, I was going to buy it again because, honestly, I kind of want another copy. Like, I really do like this book in particular, right? And I just think it's just a sick cover. Like, I love the cover. Right, so I was like, damn, it'd be pretty cool, and actually my little brother likes Venom as well, so I'm like, that maybe I would even give it to him. So I was like, oh, if it's like around 20 bucks, I'll buy it, like, for sure. If it's in decent condition, it's 20 bucks, I'll buy it. Even though I know it might be a little high price, because I see the recent sales on, oh no, it was right around 20 bucks, I think, on, like, eBay and stuff like that. So I think it's, like, fair, right? And again, the original guy who's doing it, you know, out of his garage or whatever, who sold me this copy, I totally think is in the right, like the way for how much he was selling it. So fast forward, right? I asked one of the guys, and this guy in particular isn't like the owner of the shop or anything, because they have a few employees that are at the shop. And I was like, yeah, could I see that Venom, the Venom, the Enemy Within? And he was like, yeah, sure. He's like, and he hands it to me, and it's got a price sticker of $50. And I'm like, $50? Like, in my head, I'm like, what the hell? $50? Like, raw? And it wasn't even as good as this copy. And I'm like, I'm not going to, like, you know, be like, oh, well, I know better, or nothing. Because, hey, it's their book. They could sell for $1 million if they wanted to. But he kind of, like, pressed me a little bit and was like, are you going to buy this? And I'm looking, I didn't even have it in my hands. She just put it on the glass, right, on the counter. And I was like, no, I was like, I'm kind of like looking, because I was like, I'm a really big fan of this cover. And I was like, hey, like, you know, like I just bought one for like $20, but I'm looking to buy another one. And as soon as I said that I already had a copy, he pulled the book from me, gave me a look, like a dirty look, and then just turned around and like left. And I'm like, what the like, and I'm like, I get it, man. Like, hey, you know, maybe it's because I'm like, oh, I bought it for 20, and like maybe he thought I was instilling like oh, well, you guys like, and I wasn't even gonna say anything for it. I was just like, just curious, because I wanted to buy another copy of this book, and it was just weird because he didn't let me get to like that part of the like conversation, and it was just a really freaking it was the weirdest reaction I've had at a comic book shop. And I'm like, huh. But the thing that really stuck out to me the most about this, and why I really wanted to make a video on this, it's not necessarily about the actual, you know, hey, like everyone's got bad days or whatever, and I totally understand that. And, you know, coming from him, he might have thought that maybe I was someone who was like, I don't know, like maybe someone who thought that it would come across like I was trying to like haggle him down, which again, I was like, I'm not even gonna try to haggle at $50. That's insane for this book. But that was the reason why I wanted to bring this video to light, or actually make this video in general, is because I'm not huge into the reselling yet, but I want to, like, obviously, like, if there's books I pick up that I don't want to hold, or I want to like try to trade up and stuff like that with other collectors, like that's just kind of something I want to get into, because I think it's a really fun part of this hobby. But also at the same time, I'm like, you know, I know that usually shops, and especially this shop, has marked up like books that I bought in the past, but like, is it typical for them to like take a book that's got like, you know, even in the high grade sales of $20, maybe $30, man, I could see 30 for a really super high grade for this book, but put it up $50, especially like right now? And I'm like, I don't know. And I guess I wouldn't even be talking about it, because I understand like prices like mismatch or what happened, you know what I mean? Maybe this was an older price from like, maybe they priced it at $50 like during like the comic book boom that I hear so much about, right? And like stuff like that. But I'm like, yo, why? You know what I mean? Like you could like, I understand like stuff could be mismarked and stuff like that, or maybe they haven't updated their prices on books, because they do have an inventory of backlogs that go back like probably 1 million books at this point. But I'm like, this is kind of a wall display book. You'd think that like, I don't know, I wouldn't ask for it off the wall if I wasn't interested in buying it, because I was. And I was just kind of like taken away at it for a second, because I'm like, is this like I hope all shops aren't like quadrupling their price of books. Like, I understand that they have to make sales, and it makes a lot of sense, right? I understand, and I want comic book shops to like obviously thrive, but I was just like kind of like, damn, 50? Because I just thought, I was like, if I was like my dad per se, right, and I go into the comic book shop with my little brother, and I'm not really like, I'm not as well versed into like back issues and prices and stuff like that, and my little brother would see this comic and be like, I want this. And I'm like, damn, you're going to charge him $50 for this book? Like, it's just kind of, I don't know, something didn't sit right with me. And I was just curious on, you know, everyone else, because everyone, it's really cool that, like, the whole reason why I started this channel was to have, like, kind of have a community to, like, talk to about different books and current storylines and stuff like that. And I really like everyone who subscribed and talks with me and goes back and forth. But the thing is like, does this happen a lot to you guys? Because I'm like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not, it wasn't cool. I didn't think it was kind of cool because I thought of like my little brother and being like, damn, I don't want to see him get like ripped off of $50 for a book that should be around 20. Or is it I'm totally in the wrong and I think that this book is around the $50 mark, and maybe I'm clinging on to a guy who just did me a really good favor and sold it to me for like 20, had it priced at 20 and sold to me for 15. Like maybe I just got a really, really, really nice deal, but I couldn't imagine that. And like I could see like individual sellers on eBay and stuff like that marking their books really high because, you know, it's a personal thing, like it's a personal collection, and I totally get it. So it's harder to, you know, tell someone that maybe their book's not worth as much as they think. But also on the flip side, they're a retailer. And that's why I think I'm cool with anyone marking up their own books. You could sell it for $1 million. That's cool. But I'm like, dude, retail and you're doing that is kind of like a little suspect in my opinion. But again, maybe I'm going to receive a lot of hate for this video, but I just felt like I wanted to put it out in the ether and see what you guys think. Because like, has this happened to you guys a lot? Like around the country, like do you guys, you know, like often see yourself looking at a book that you really want and you see it for a really fair price that you know what the price should be, and it's marked up like, you know, like I don't know, 50% higher than that? Like, or I'm just curious because I've just never seen it before, and it was just a case that just happened to me and it stuck out. And obviously, if I felt inclined enough to talk about it, I thought maybe that there'd be someone else with the same situation. But I didn't want to bring this on a light. You know, I have tons of content coming out soon. So please do me a huge favor, like and subscribe for more. And yeah, keep on hunting, and hopefully you guys get all the comics you want this year, especially for the holidays. So until next video, thank you guys, and see you again.